It would seem that the grown-ups have left the building. Hi, my name's Christine L. Conroy. Welcome to Happy Stuff and Fluff, a channel for women over 50 who are getting happy and growing younger. Well, yes, indeed it does seem like the grown-ups have left the building and the children are running the show. And I'm not being facetious there, and of course I am talking about coronavirus. I know it's everywhere, and I know this is not the video I had planned, but I have been asked to give you my thoughts on the subject. And I feel I ought to do that, really. Not because I know more than you do about coronavirus, I certainly don't. But what I do know about is fear and anxiety, especially when it's related to the possibility of losing someone you care about. And that's what I want to talk to you about. Now, when I say the grown-ups have left the building, I mean that quite literally, because when we are thrown into this kind of threat mode, which is of course what's happening to all of us through this coronavirus, we've been thrown into this threat mode, which puts us into fight or flight. That fight or flight mode, which is fine, but remember, fight or flight, so you are supposed to fight or run away, and of course we can't do any of those things in this situation. This is what causes anxiety. We've talked about this many times before, and oddly enough, I'm just producing a module on this very same thing, or at least the stinking thinking aspect of it, because what happens when you go in, quite apart from what happens physiologically to your body, and I'll leave a link here to a video where I talked about stinking thinking, when you get thrown into fight or flight mode, it narrows your thinking, narrows your focus, which means it kind of gives you this tunnel vision about something, about the thing you've got to fight. Okay, now it gives you this tunnel vision. Now, tunnel vision itself is a form of stinking thinking, or a form of faulty thinking, which leads to emotions which are also faulty, which then goes on to lead to the most ineffective action. So the thought leads to the emotion, leads to the behaviour. But if the original thought is false, and it is if you have this kind of tunnel vision thinking, then everything that follows is also ineffective. That's why it's important to get you out of fight or flight mode and get you into rational thinking if we are going to get through this in the easiest, most effective way. So when I said I have experience, I have certainly of the threat of losing a loved one, and I know many of you will have elderly parents who are in the danger zone as far as this virus is concerned, then you're going to be concerned about them. I went through that 3 times, and I did learn how to handle it as far as possible. Of course, the fact is, I lost my mum, my sister, and my daughter. But what you have to do, first of all, is accept what's happening. That's the first thing. And when I say that, I don't mean just take it all on board and do nothing. Accept the fact that there is a danger. What causes lots of people the anxiousness is that feeling of powerlessness, feeling that there's nothing you can do. Well, there are things that you can do. Now, first of all, you need the facts, the true facts, and nothing but the facts, which means you have to stop looking at Facebook about it. That's the first thing. And only get your information from trusted places. So the World Health Organization, of course. I may as well tell you as I go along how I'm choosing to see this. So I will look at the World Health Organization. I also listen to the BBC. Now in the UK, as of today, we're going to be getting a daily update as to what the government is actually doing. And I think that's important too. We need to know that those people who are leading us are doing something about it, because we look to them for reassurance and they need to give us that. And I think this transparency is going to be good. In terms of the media, I would say to you, do not listen to the news every hour on the hour. All they're doing is giving you the same news, which is, chances are, the death rate of this particular thing, which straight away puts you into that fear mode. What we have to try to do is to put it into perspective. So have a look at, for example, what the annual death rates are anyway of things like flu or other diseases, and compare it to this data that we're being given about the coronavirus. You've got to research it from a rational point of view and get those facts first of all. Okay, so that you know what you're dealing with. Now, we're also being told there are certain things you can do to help help prevent spread the virus. Washing your hands more, which is essential. Only standing within 6 feet of someone. It's difficult to do. I was at a wedding at the weekend, and your initial reaction to someone is to move in and hug, and even more so in times of anxiety such as these. You've got to train yourself not to do it. You've got to train yourself not to do it, because it does travel on the air. And apparently, if I had it and you were closer to me than 6 feet, then there's a possibility that what's in the air is coming to you. Whereas if you are 2 meters away from me, by the time it gets to 2 meters, it's gone and dispersed into the air. Try to do that. So those are two things. Wash your hands, 6 feet from each other. Don't go where lots of people gather close together. Well, again, in the UK, I do believe that lots of sporting events are being banned to stop that from happening. So things are available to you to prevent the spread of the disease. What I want to say to you is, ask yourself, how can I be part of the solution and not part of the problem? And part of the problem is the fact that the children are running the show, and that's a natural, normal reaction to fight or flight mode. It puts you into scary mode, like you were frightened of something when you were a child, and so you act on impulse. That's what we've got to stop. You know, our supermarkets in the UK have said to us there is enough food, there is enough, this ridiculous thing about toilet rolls, all came from a silly photograph that some reporter thought was funny and would make a good story. Someone with a trolley filled with toilet rolls, and that makes people think, oh, we must need toilet rolls, and there's going to be a shortage if everybody's going to the supermarket and filling their trolleys up with toilet roll. I better go and do the same. Think about these things before you act on them. As I say, supermarkets said there's enough to go around for everyone, as long as people don't stockpile all of these things. I know you want to protect your family, but this is where seeing the bigger picture comes in too. We've got to think long term. This thing is going to be with us for quite some time. That's what we have to think about. Concrete ways of stopping the spreading of it, so take care of yourself and your family in that respect. Stay away from places where lots of people gather. Get lots of fresh air. That's another thing. And in the UK, I'm smiling, this is not funny. I'll tell you why I'm smiling in a second. It's even been suggested in the UK, but because people over the age of 70 are at higher risk, that the UK government may be suggesting shortly that everyone over the age of 70 self-isolates. The reason I'm smiling is the response to that received from my brother, who is over the age of 70, when he heard that that had been suggested. I can't repeat what he said because A, I'm on YouTube, and B, I don't swear anyway, but you could probably get the message. But I'm also guessing, as he is a responsible adult, that if the government suggested this is going to help, then he would try to do that, and I think that's what we all have to do. You know, there are bigger, brighter, better minds than mine and my brother's, and yours from all around the world who are coming together on this and helping to keep it at bay. And that gives me comfort to know that. It gives me comfort. It's been going on for a while now. We can look back at what happened in other places and learn from that and put these things into place. This is what you have to be thinking about all the time. How can I help? How can I be part of the solution and not the problem? And how can I keep my own anxiety at bay? Let me tell you how. Meditation, breathing, clear your head of this fight or flight panic, so that you can make rational decisions. Meditation is going to help with that. I'll leave a link to a meditation here. Journaling, so get these crazy thoughts, get the crazy thoughts out of your head down on paper. It really helps you to do that. The faulty thinking, the stinking thinking, get it all out and down on paper. That's what you need to do. And this is going to sound strange, but also your gratitude practice is more essential than ever. We've got to get you positive thinking in a positive mode, because as I've said to you before, positive thinking opens up the mind and makes you more creative and able to deal with things. And once you get 1 or 2 positive thoughts, it causes an upward spiral. Every morning, think about gratitude in the moment. So I'm not suggesting that you look at what's happening with this virus and think, what can I find grateful in that situation? No, I'm asking you to think about this moment. What can I be grateful for? I can be grateful for the fact that my neighbour's not putting shelves up and making noise while I'm talking to you. You know, I can be grateful in the moment for the fact that Mr. Freud is still around and hasn't fallen off his perch while I'm talking to you. Small things that you can be grateful for, that will give you a little bit of positivity. That's all you need. That's going to take you up into this upward spiral, which will help you to be more creative and help your thoughts be more creative. We have to get people out of panic mode and into rational thinking. Okay, the other thing I would say is please continue to support your local businesses, because we need to keep the economy going. This is, this is another thing about widening this tunnel vision, because it's going to be around with us, this thing, and we need to think long term too. So we need to keep the economy going also. Okay, now then, something I did already in the video that should have come out today, but I'm going to do it again, is to announce the winner of my birthday book giveaway. The first book is David Sinclair's Lifespan, Why We Age and Why We Don't Have to. Some very pertinent things in here as well in terms of health at the moment. And also the second book was The Moment of Lift by Melinda Gates. These 2 books will be winging their way to Laura Eccleston Siebel, I think that is. It's Siebel. Apologies if I've mispronounced that, but Laura, you've won the books. So if you'd like to send me your details to christine@conroycoaching.com, and also tell me who you would like me to sign the books to, and I will sign them for you. Okay, congratulations, Laura. So if you have, whatever thoughts you have about this, if you are feeling anxious in any way and fearful, or any other comments you might have on this situation we're all in, and we are all in it together, if ever we needed reminding of how we are connected, this is it. Please leave your comments down below, and I will answer and do films till the cows come home if it helps you, and if it helps me to be part of the solution and not the problem, then I'm going to do that. Okay, take care, stay healthy, and we'll get through this. We're women over 50, we've been through hell and back with all kinds of things. We're going to handle it. Okay, I'll see you next time. Until then, remember that on the Happy Stuff and Fluff, we're getting happy.